understand and would expect that their clients would want to be present for the hearing on this PUD. But I do want to mention, of course, we didn't really have a choice. We had to be here this morning because the only body that can grant the continuance is this Board of County Commissioners. So it is certainly inconvenient, I would say, for us to have now have appeared a second time before this body, and we'll now have to come back a third time. And when we were here on March the 6th, this date was actually selected by Mr. BOCC. There was an earlier date that was suggested, which was the meeting 2 weeks after the March 6th meeting. And it was Mr. BOCC that had suggested that we defer it instead until this date on April 3rd. So my clients are not thrilled about it, to say the least, but you know, as I said, you know, we take them at their word that their clients had a scheduling conflict with this hearing this morning, and based on that, we advised Mr. Brandt late in the afternoon on Friday that we would not object to the continuance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, as I've stated over and over, my position has always been to curtsy to the member, and I think in 15 years I can only recall one time of voting against the member because I questioned the legality of the proposal. So I'll go with whatever you want to do.
Well, that's a lot of what's going on here, a lot of legalities. The mission itself is not in question. I believe the mission to be good. It is the fact that we are trying to put what Oklahoma City is now struggling with, tiny homes, onto a piece of property that abuts many others. And after standing out there, it's literally about a seven iron away from the fire pit that they talk about bringing 20, 30 people around to one of the other neighbors' back porch. That neighbor has built structures up to block it, but growing up out there, being a valley and from hillside to hillside, I know that that's going to carry, and you're going to be able to hear everything and every word. And I read recently in a 405 article that they're talking about expanding and bringing another house onto that same property. Unless I completely misunderstood that article, I believe it was their family that was wanting to build a house in front of the current house. And so that piece of property would subsequently have, now it's 10 acres, but that piece of property also has a large pond, and it would be multiple houses plus tiny homes. And we're talking about cramming a lot of people on 10 acres all of a sudden. The only limiting factor to this is the PUD. And as we struggled and we started asking for opinions from our attorneys and for those things to be decided, I knew that the only thing that we could do, that we could hold on to, is the PUD. That would limit and give some sort of limiting factors to the neighbors. Now, the neighbors out there and everybody, the protest letters from surrounding areas, if you look at the map, it's about 100%. I think there's about 99.9%. There's one lot that I don't recall being colored in, but it's pretty, I mean, it's significant, and it's a very unfortunate thing. I let Mr. BOCC know last week that I was going to be a no vote, that I thought it was a bad idea. I did not think it was the right place for this type of thing. I again think the mission is great, but that's not what's at question. What's at question is the mission being in somebody's backyard. They've compared it to other missions that have homes inside of neighborhoods, but those are single homes with single families in those homes. This would be numerous people staying in the tiny homes on that location.
Given the number of protests, this has to be a unanimous vote, correct, Eric?
That is correct.
Well, if you're already a no vote, is there a reason to drag everybody back down here a third time? I
But
mean,
it's to hold on to that PUD. It's to hold on to the only limiting factor, the way that we understand it. So the only thing that I have that can control, so what the question has been is, does this, so it's a 501c3 is the way that they file their taxes, and it's a religious organization. With our, Eric, step in when I'm wrong here, with our zoning, it's almost like a church. And then they could put that church organization on that piece of property. The only way that I have to limit it, which would mean they could do 20 tiny homes, 30 tiny homes. They could do what they wanted to. The only limiting factor that we have is the PUD. Is that correct? Did I get all that right? Okay. Does that make sense? I mean, and with not a, with no opinion and no legal.
well, I
No
think
legal
the
opinion.
opinion was that it was through the wrong board, right? That it should have gone through the Board of Adjustment, not through the Planning Commission. Did I read that correctly? But this, okay, you
So-
don't agree?
No, I'm gonna hold on to the PUD until we know exactly the way that it needs to hold on to. I mean, that's,
So are you amenable to doing a continuance until May 3rd?
reluctantly,
Okay.
very reluctantly.
Mr. Box, or Mr. Work, were you guys wanting to say something else?
I guess seeking clarification. When you say holding on to the PUD,
Yep.
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
I mean, you've applied for a PUD,
Correct?
and that's the only document, that's the only means of which I have to limit what you do as you tried and you discussed the R2.
Only if it's approved.
At this point, if you go for the R2, I'll approve a PUD so we could limit it.
That's what we're asking for, is to approve the PUD, which would limit what could otherwise be done.
But you're trying to go another route, correct?
No, we have, the PUD is the same PUD that was voted on by the Planning Commission.
Okay. But here's the deal. You keep raising the question of R2 and whether or not this qualifies for R2. Because you stood in my office and you said that we could put a 500-person megachurch on if it was an R2. And that's
Correct.
the way that they are, correct? And then you're saying that you're a 501c3 and that you qualify for religious status, this ministry does?
So what I provided was what the IRS designates this use as a church. What we believe is that the PUD will restrict what could otherwise be done today. So R2 allows a church up to 500 people. We're willing to say we won't have a church. We'll limit it to, I think it was 18 people, limited it to the weekend only. So we think what we've done through the PUD is almost a down zone and further limits what could be done today.
And then if we vote a PUD down, what I heard there previously is that you could go and do a 500-person church, correct?
A church is absolutely allowed under R2.
Okay. And is that the intent?
No, the intent is to do this organization and limit the ability to have a church. The intent is exactly what we've filed in the PUD and was approved by Planning Commission.
Okay.
It sounds like you're trying to show that a PUD actually has more restrictions on your activities than what it's currently zoned at.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
therefore, it's within your best interest and our best interest to approve the PUD because it will regulate your activities more.
That's our belief.
Yeah.
Based on, church, I think a group home. I mean, there are other uses today that are allowed that I think the PUD would further restrict. My only point in all of those arguments made at Planning Commission was if you look at the uses allowed today, perhaps they're more intensive than what we're actually proposing through the PUD.
So my fear there is that if we don't have the PUD, that they take it to court and that they qualify for church status.
So then why don't we approve the PUD?
We want to limit, so, because if you want to approve the PUD and force them and allow all the neighbors to live next to it, then we could do that. But if you look at the way the neighbors have spoken up and said that they do not want this there, I have to think that the constituents are the ones that have the loudest voice there.
Well, to me, it's a moot point. If you're a no, it's
All right,
going to
let's-
die anyway because it takes unanimous.
It does.
So I'm asking you, do you want the continuance still if he's a,
Yes,
vote?
just because my client and some of their key people couldn't be here this morning. So we understand where you're at, but they want their opportunity to, to be heard. I understand it was already continued once. That wasn't at our, request. Our preference would be to defer it.
it's up to you.
Okay.
This is the by far the most single difficult thing I've done and seen in the entire time that I've been at the county for the past 14 years.
I guess before you make a motion is, we did have a number of people who signed up. Do you wish to go ahead and speak, or I'll just leave it open-ended because you may or may not, but I have anybody here wishing to speak on this item before there's a motion? Okay. Seeing none. Yeah, sure, Mr. Work.
I wanted to just provide some information that I think is responsive to both your questions, Commissioner Davidson, and some of Mr. Box's comments. Under the current R2 zoning, there are uses that are allowed, and those include places of worship. That's the language that's used. And that is defined under the zoning regulation to be a building for regular assembly for religious public worship that is used primarily for and designed for such purposes, such as a church, synagogue, mosque, or similar. So the proposed facility that is being requested here under this PUD is not a place of worship. It is a care facility. It is a camp. It is a tiny home, short-term occupancy facility. The organization has identified that they're a member of a camp organization. So if there was a question, if they believed that they qualified under places of worship under R2, there was a procedure for them to follow if that was their view. They could have taken that, challenged the interpretation by the county engineer and gone to the Board of Adjustment and asked the Board of Adjustment to overrule the county engineer's determination. The county engineer made the determination they were not a place of worship, and therefore they were not a permitted use under R2. So there's no question in our view that this is a collection of uses that are not currently permitted under the R2 district, and that it does require rezoning to allow the requested uses. And we are opposed to that. We want all of this area is zoned R2 and has been since 1991. We don't want it to change. Thank you.
Okay. Any others wishing to speak? Seeing none, it's your pleasure.
Motion to deny PUD.
I'm not going to second. I understand your, what's the word I'm looking for? You're trying to weigh both sides and you're trying to figure out what's the best decision. And I don't blame you for your stance, but I know that where's Mr. Work? I know that many, if not most of the neighbors are opposed to this. I understand that. But in my conversations with Mr. Box and the folks at Wellstead, I don't see this as being something that's going to bring a lot of noise or a lot of issues to the neighborhood. I think it's only going to bring good things to the neighborhood. So I'm not going to second. So.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor of denying, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Okay. I appreciate everybody's time and patience. Thank you. While we are on citizens' comments, just to be fair, since there are a number here for talking about citizen comment issue, Mina Samara, you wish to speak?
My name's Mina Samara. I've been a tenant of ICB for approximately 18 years. Had one hiccup, ran for county office, so some of you know me. But went back. I paid Oklahoma County in excess of $122,000, all right, in rent of my term. Many of my peers who are present have been here longer. So please, as I speak, take into consideration the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we've paid Oklahoma County, all right? Now, initially, we were told that we were going to have to move from within the building. We were fine. I mean, we weren't crazy about the idea, but okay, so we have to be relocated inside the building. We were okay with that. But now we're being told that we're going to be, basically, our leases aren't going to be renewed, that we're going to be evicted. All of us. Our careers started in that building. Our clients know where we're located. They know where to find us. When I ran for office, I took a hiccup. When I came back, many of my clients came back and said, thank goodness you're still in the building. I didn't know where to find you. We get a lot of business from walk-ins as well. We keep a lot of people out of jail. I don't think you guys realize that. We get called over to the courthouse quite often. These people get to go in custody. We stand in and we keep them from going to jail. That's another issue that you have with your jail trust. We keep the jail empty. We keep them from going into custody when they're in court. All right. Now, is there any reason why the county commissioner cannot access some of the vacant properties that he has throughout the county? He has tons of properties that aren't occupied. Why do we have to take taxpayers and revenue from the county and throw us out on the street whenever he can move across the street from the jail where we have a vacant building right there adjacent to the jail? Please take these things into consideration. First, the thousands of dollars that we've paid. The costs that we're going to have to incur to print all of our documents, which we were going to have to incur that anyway, but they're all legal documents. We have to pay to have all that done. The cost of moving, the cost of losing business, because we're going to lose business. All the walk-in business, and let's be honest, the county assessor can move to any county-owned unoccupied building, and the loss of revenue for the county. So please take all this into consideration. Relocate us, give us a place to move. Please don't ignore the fact that we've been with you all for 20 plus years. All of our businesses are rooted there. You're going to devastate us. As our guest so beautifully prayed, do the right thing, all right? Don't throw businesses out on the street. Thank you.
Jared Bradford and Melanie Bradford.
Okay. First and foremost, I would like to say we've been in the business, and it will kind of seem like a broken record. We've been here at this business for 30 years. Now, we've started in different locations inside the building. We've been from the 4th floor to the 5th floor, and now we relocated to the 1st floor. Now, each time we moved, we took a little bit of a hit just from our clients trying to figure out where exactly we are. It was so beneficial for us to be in this building. That's the reason why we didn't move for so long. But to be in the building for 30 years and now being forced out is it's mind blowing, and it definitely hurts our businesses in different places and stuff. We feel like we help a lot of people. We can't help the people that we want to help without your guys' help. We do want to stay in the building. Uprooting us, having to move around the building was one thing at first. So we just moved to the first floor within a year. Now it came that you guys were going to move us out of our office into another office because somebody wants that office, and we were fine with that. But now you guys are just rooting us out, and it's really going to hurt our business and a lot of people that we help. That's pretty much all I have to say. I appreciate you.
Tracy Terrell?
Should this be PBA? This is not a PBA, right?
They signed up here.
My name is Tracy Hallie Terrell. I've been in that building since I started my business, which was back in 2001. I was there for several years, left for just a few, was back in 2011, have been there ever since. I've been on the 4th floor. I've had 3 different offices on the 4th floor. I've been on the 3rd floor, and I've been on the 1st floor for the last couple years. I feel like there's a sense of loyalty. We are paying all this money to the county, and now I feel like the county is turning their back on us. We've been there for years, decades, and there's really nothing I can say more than what everybody else has said. It's the same thing. We want to stay there and continue, and just don't feel that it's right to not renew our leases. There's never been a problem with us paying our rent. It's never been late. I just don't understand. Thank you.
Okay. Any others? All right. I appreciate everybody's patience. If you want to drop down to item 20, since you have people here for that.
Yeah, and can I I just want to make a comment to all of the folks who just spoke. We do have, I believe, Mr. Monroe, do we have an item, is Mr. Monroe here? Do we have an item on the PBA that addresses the issues they spoke about?
The item, as I understand it, is on the PBA advisory agenda.
Okay.
Yes.
And when is that next meeting? Today. What time? Whenever this meeting is done. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the folks who spoke, there's not an item on our agenda today where we can take any action related to your issues, but there is PBA advisory right after the conclusion of this meeting that will address that issue.
That's right, and that
Okay.
is a subcommittee meeting. The item will be taken up formally, I'm certain, with the PBA meeting at some point in the future.
At a next PBA meeting. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And because it's not an item on our agenda, we're not allowed by law to engage with you about that topic. So, but we heard you and we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Okay, the Arts Festival, folks.
Miss Cosby, if you would like to come up with your folks, we would love that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Seth Lewis, Festival of the Arts Director, and with us I have Angela Cosby, who is the new Executive Director of Arts Council Oklahoma City, Farouk Kareem, the co-chair, along with Susie White, the co-chairs for this year's festival, and they have a few words.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for what you do. We really appreciate your service. We are so excited about this year's festival. Starts Tuesday, April the 25th through Sunday the 30th. We're here to add to your wall of lovely festival posters. I always enjoy seeing those when we come through here. This year's festival poster features artist Daphne Covington, who is a Georgia artist, but she's been with our festival for several years. And again, we're so excited about festival this year. It's the best week of the year. I think April the 14th, we're going to start setting up the community within the community. We look forward to seeing all of you at opening ceremonies at 11 o'clock on Tuesday the 25th. And hopefully we'll see, I think Commissioner Mon said he'd be out there every day for lunch. So hopefully we'll see you guys there enjoying some great international food. So thank you all for letting us present this to you and be here this morning.
Thank you.
How many different artists come and sell their work at this event?
So we will have, I'm going to expand on your question. We will
Okay.
have 144 artists from all over the country, sometimes internationally. We have International Food Row, so we'll have 21 large vendor food tents, and I think we have between 9 and 11 cart vendors. We have a whole kids area. We have 2 performance stages. We'll have over 500,000 people come and visit festival just right, across the street. It's really an amazing event, and we look forward to seeing you all and the community there. We also will have lots of vegetarian options. I think more than
Thank you.
3/4 of our food vendors will have some vegetarian options.
Wonderful.
So something for everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. You would
Thank you,
like
guys.
to have a picture?
Yes.
Oh,
if
yeah.
we could.
Okay.
And I'm just curious, how many years have we had the Arts Festival come and present? Like, what is our oldest poster? Do you know?
I've done it every year since
I
I've been
think
here.
the oldest ones you can find are actually in the engineer's office of all things.
Okay.
They're on the wall.
And for the record, this year is the 57th annual. So
Wow. Nice. Oh, yeah, let's have our child abuse prevention folks come up, and then we'll do your. Do you have everybody? You can double up if you need to. Yes. Thank you, and all of you.
I do good work.
That's right.
Okay, thank you to our Festival of the Arts folks. And now we are on, that was item,
You want to move to receive our poster?
I'll move to receive our Festival of the Arts poster.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, do you want to do
And
21?
Item number 21 is Child Abuse Prevention Month. All of these wonderful folks have come in blue. Ms. Van Beber, would you like to come up and maybe introduce the agencies that are represented here?
Sure.
Okay.
Good morning. My name's Kim Van Beber, and I'm the Executive Director of CASA of Oklahoma County. Our mission is to provide trained volunteers to advocate for the individualized best interest of kids in foster care. So the kiddos that we work have suffered abuse and neglect to the point where they had to be removed and placed in the Department of Human Services for their safety. We have a really strong nonprofit sector here in Oklahoma County. So we have several of our friends here today. We have folks from Sunbeam, we have folks from Palomar, from Citizens Caring for Children, the Department of Human Services, and the Care Center. I think, is that everyone? Yes, here with us today. Child abuse is prevalent here in Oklahoma County, and we're just so thankful for this resolution to really help us bring awareness to this important month. So we thank you all so much for having us here today.
And am I correct that there is a hotline that anyone can call and report child abuse?
There is a hotline. So we're all mandated reporters. So if you suspect child abuse and neglect, you have to call the child welfare hotline, and that number is 1-800-522-3511.
I'll post that somewhere.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I will read your resolution. So this is a resolution recognizing April as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas in the fiscal year 2022, there were 1,489 confirmed cases of child abuse or neglect in Oklahoma County, involving 2,533 children. And whereas Oklahoma continues to be ranked near the top in people with more than 2 adverse childhood experiences. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone. And whereas our children will shape the future of Oklahoma County, and whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And whereas research also shows that parents and caregivers who have social networks and know how to seek help in times of trouble are more resilient and better able to provide safe environments and nurturing experiences for their children. And whereas child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, governments, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promoting the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Oklahoma County hereby proclaim April 2023 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month in Oklahoma County and urge all residents to recognize this month by dedicating themselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families. Approved this 3rd day of April 2023. I will move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. And then you might want to hold on. Do you want to do item 19, just so they can see you do it?
Oh, yes. Mr. Monroe, item 19. This lovely group of folks have requested that we light up the annex blue during the month of April. Is that possible?
Yes, it is, but I don't know the exact hue or color, but we'll do as good a blue as we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I wore my blue today, but I'm looking at you. I'm not sure I got the right shade, so I was trying to be supportive.
Okay, so we will work with Mr. Monroe to light up the annex blue, and I will move the item.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thought you might want to see that.
Yeah. And any of you are welcome to come down to this building on the outside in the evening and take pictures if you would like. So, yeah.
Just in trying to be fair with all the folks that are here, item 27. Is there anyone here for that, Eric?
There is a gentleman here, Mr. Grubbs, but just background on the case itself. They're wanting to rezone the property from R2 to R1. R1 gives the ability to have lots that are smaller than 2 acres but are greater than 1 acre. This development, as you see, is 15 lots on 18 acres. It's located on Harrow Road, just north of Northeast 63rd on the east side of the road. There are similar developments in the area that are 1 acre as well. The Planning Commission approved the item in the March meeting. They all voted to accept it. So that's all the information I have on it.
Okay. And does he wish to speak? Okay. All right. Well, I'll move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for your patience, sir. Sorry, it took us a while. Number 28.
28 is an item that was approved by the Planning Commission, the Board of County Commissioners for rezoning back a month or so ago. They're wanting to place a restaurant there on the property. Alcohol sales is not allowed in any zoning district outright. So that's why this item is in front of you today. It's a special use permit to allow alcohol sales at the restaurant. There's an area that's been identified on a map which they can do that. The actual location of the restaurant on the property is still fluid at this point. But that's what item is about. It was approved by the Planning Commission at the March 16th meeting as well.
Motion to approve.
Is there anyone here to speak on this?
She is here, but I don't know if she has anything to add.
Hello, Jessica Bloy with Johnson and Associates, 20 Sheridan Avenue, representing the applicant. As Eric stated, the developer has not finalized their plans for the building, so that is why we are asking for this area. So as you can see, it's not the full area that was rezoned. So happy to answer any questions. And this is District 3, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'll second.
Okay, thank you for your time. Sorry for the delay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now we can go back up to the regular part of the agenda. I think that covered everybody. A lot of guests today. All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes of March 20th and 27th?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bids, Chantel.
Item 2 is a recommendation for P23372-09. This is a communications earpiece. It's the part that attaches to the radio. It's a separate item. And due to the quantity, we felt necessary to bid this out. 2 bids were received. The sheriff's office actually reviewed samples of the items to feel them, touch them, and to test them and make sure it is compatible with the product. They are recommending, and I also am recommending, award to In-Ear, which is a company that has a few patents, but their item seems to fit the best needs of what the sheriff is needing.
I will move approval of the recommendation of the purchasing office.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yep, this is the next item.
Want to open them now? Okay.
We have one bid for architect design services for the new adult detention center. The first one is STV. Second one is HOK. Strollo and Strollo. Richard Brown Associates. And this concludes the bids.
Is there a motion they be tabulated in return?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve? Well, is there any change?
No changes.
No change to the blanket.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do we need to send those?
On the,
Or do we want to wait until they do?
do we need to send a copy of those over to the trust?
Oh, or the,
I meant the oversight committee, yeah.
I believe that's the preference.
so item 4, do I need to move to reopen?
No, that's blanket.
No, that's the blanket.
Oh, my
Number
screen is a
3.
little frozen.
Item 3.
On
Did you
item
vote?
3, I'll move we reopen item 3.
Yeah, I voted.
Our screens are frozen. Just double tap.
Frozen and then some.
Just sign out and come back in.
Did you kill it?
That's unusual, isn't it? Well, at least it happened after our guest left. So I'm not holding them up.
It's not even,
She tried.
I signed out, signed back in, and this is going back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm going to see if I can get into the right agenda, which is always my problem.
Yes, correct. I'll move we reopen item 3.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye. So item 3, I will make another motion that we direct the purchasing director to present the open bids to the Citizen Bond Oversight Committee
Second.
for discussion. Oh, motion.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, good catch. Thank you for doing that. All right, now item 5. Is there a motion to approve the claims?
I'll move our claims.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any individual consideration on the consent docket?
Motion to approve consent.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
District 1.
Item 18 is an agreement between the county and Crooked Oak Public Schools for us to assist with cleaning some brush off their property. The county agrees to not exceed $18,093.76. And we will, of course, reimburse highway cash with our general fund. And I believe, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, the school is the school paying for materials? Okay, so I'll move approval. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, well, this one's a fun one. We're going to have a birthday celebration for Cleo, our shoe shine guy over there, an institution in the courthouse, of course. We'll read his resolution with his family present on our meeting for May 1st, but we were hoping to have his birthday party in the jury assembly room that day, but it's law day. So it became necessary for us to ask to move it to May 2nd, which the court clerks said it's available. Renee Troxel said the space is available. So everybody in the courthouse is invited. We're going to have lunch. And this is to ask approval to put up invitations throughout the building.
Oh, nice. I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hope that y'all will be able to be there. Okay, and item 23, it's regarding an amended ARPA subrecipient agreement. And
I'll move approval.
is there any question? Okay.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Engineering.
Yes, this item deals with a local road that was constructed about a dozen years ago, along with the interchange at the Hogback and the Turner Turnpike. On the local road, we didn't quite get enough easement to cover the local road. It was found by a title attorney here recently in the last few years, so purchasing this easement clears up a lot of problems. There was actually a piece of property that was landlocked out there. So now we have full coverage of our road, and all the property owners would be happy with this purchase.
Motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Mr. Monroe.
Have them clean up Carrie's minutes. She's not paying attention.
Item 25 is a discussion about the rental rates paid on behalf of the election board by the BOCC to the Public Building Authority. The rate historically has been $8.64 a foot. The discussion is to raise that rate over the next 3 years by the amounts shown to try and achieve a market rate at that time. We would move in fiscal 23-24 to a figure of $10.72 a foot. Subsequent years, $12.80. 25-26, fiscal year 25-26 to $14.88. And these would all based on the consumer price index or other factors. This would be in keeping and consistent with what we're doing with other PBA properties.
And when you say fiscal year 23-24, that starts July 1st of this year, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I'll move approval.
Second.
All right, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You'll see a like item on the PBA agenda as well.
Okay, we've done the planning commission items. Any commissioner comments, District 1?
I don't think so.
District 3?
No, thank you.
Okay, I wish everybody a happy Holy Week and Easter weekend. Is there any new business? If not, is there a motion to recess into executive session?
I'll move we recess.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I'll move we return to regular session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Action on item 31.
On item 31, I move we give the district attorney's office $7,500 for deposition costs.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
32.
Item 32, I move we disclaim this piece of property subject to any unpaid property taxes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any other citizens wishing to be heard for the commissioner meeting? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. I'm in.
Okay. You ready? Okay, I'll call the PPA together. All three trustees are present. The notice of the meeting was posted on March 30th. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of both March 20th and 27th?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the claims?
I'll move our claims.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Monroe.
Item 3 and 4 are nearly duplicates involving the National Memorial Foundation's use of Metro parking for that event, April 29th and 30th. I have these contracts and certificates of insurance to make certain.
I'll move to receive these documents.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. And am I correct that we're not charging folks they can,
That's
runners
correct.
and
Participants and spectators.
thank you, participants and spectators can use the garage at no cost.
That's correct.
Okay. I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 5 is a companion item that you saw on the
Oh, do you want to
BOCC.
strike? Let's strike item 4.
Yes, thank you.
I'll move to strike item 4.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 5 is the companion item that the BOCC meeting approved, adjusting over a 3 years period the rental rate for the county election board.
Do we have any other entity, whether it's the county running from the PBA or outside business, where we need to do this to bump people up to?
Not at this
Fair
time.
market
We've done a good job of making all of the tenants increases effective.
Okay.
The election board is the only one that has been neglected. For what reason, I don't know, but
Okay. I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
item 6 are parking spaces.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 7 takes into account some adjustments necessary for ICB and Metro camera project increases. We got hard numbers in, and there is a realignment here between M&O and capital. Micah can speak specifically to this item number 7, but apparently it is just a reorganization of M&O and capital.
Yeah, it's just like it was last meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 8 recognizes the increased cost of the camera project and the owner's rep fees necessary and associated with that increased cost.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 9 is a periodic adjustment that we make with PBA properties with carryover figures. This is in the amount of $300 for the ICB.
Move to receive or move to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, before we go into executive session, we have citizens to be heard. So, Rod, Mr. Jenkins, Ms. Jenkins? Sorry.
Hello, my name is Ronique Jenkins. I'm in Suite 104. I just want to say that I think it's very tragic hearing the news that we have to move, possibly. Being that I've been going to that building since I was 3 years old. I'm 25 now. And I'm just now starting my business, so I would like the experience. In the office, we started on the 5th floor, and kind of worked our way down to the 1st floor, and trying to get settled in our office. It takes a big toll with cost and things like that, trying to move offices and getting people to help us move. We've been there less than a year, probably about 6 months. So I just think that it's tragic hearing the news that we're gonna have to move. And if you can just take into consideration that I have no more words. That's it.
Thank you. Mina Samara.
Well, I spoke earlier. I'm gonna sound a little bit like a broken record. As I said earlier, I've been in the building 18 years of ICB. I don't want to move. All of my clients know where I'm located. It's going to be completely devastating to all of our businesses if you guys move us or don't renew our leases. Once again, we've given hundreds of thousands of dollars to the county. We have huge costs as bondsmen. I don't know if you understand the law. We're regulated by the state. We have to give notice. We have to change our forms. We have to change our bonds. We have to change our receipt books. All of this is by law. These are things that we're going to have to do. And we're willing to do that. If you move us from within the building, we can move within the building, keep the address, and just simply relocate our suite number. And we're okay with doing that. But literally kicking us out on the street with nowhere to go, we're not okay with that. It's a loss of revenue for the county. I mean, granted, it's not a lot of revenue, but still, you have to think about your voters. I mean, if we took a poll right now, any county electorate, I think voters would be in favor of supporting small businesses rather than giving up and throwing us out on the street so one county official can have his office remodeled or whatever it is he's going to do when he has access to buildings all over the county. The building across are adjacent from the jail. It's on Robert S. Curran Classen. That's vacant. What about over at the county election board? He has that building. He can go over there. He has all types of places he can go. And what did he do during COVID? During COVID, he sat at home. He worked. His people worked. They don't have traffic like the county clerk. People go to the county clerk to pay their taxes. People don't go to the county assessor. Why does he need the 1st floor of our building? We get traffic. We need that traffic. Our businesses need that traffic. Relocate us. Please give us a place to move. And please don't ignore the fact that we've been with all of you for 20 years plus. Thank you.
Jared Bradford.
Yes, my name is Gerard Bradford. Like I
Sorry.
said,
I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name.
no, you're fine. Everybody does that. Like I said, my name is Gerard Bradford. We've had this office for 30 years. I'm 40 years now, so I was raised in this building, okay, from a young guy, aspiring to be exactly like my mom, which is one of the biggest bail bondsmen in the city, Melanie Johnson. We have been with you guys for 30 years, like I said. It's beneficial for us to be in the building just because it's central located. We work a lot at the courts, and the courts is adjusted to this. We were able to help a lot of our clients in many ways that a lot of bondsmen weren't able to, just from where we stand. So it's tough for us. Like I said, we've been on the 5th floor for about 20 years. We just rewrote it down to the 1st floor where we had to change all our bonds and stuff like that, addresses and stuff like that. Now we're getting pushed completely out of the building. We don't have a place in the building that you guys can place us or anything like that. It really feels like we're just getting bullied out, to be honest with you guys. And it's tragic to us. It's going to take a big hit on our business. So we're asking and we're pleading that you guys take that in accountability. It's detrimental to our living. I mean, this is how we make a living for our family. I do understand that they can be in any other building, but they want our floor. A place that me and my mom's been there for 30 years. So it's just kind of tough for us. We wanted to be heard. We understand that it's up to you guys and you guys are going to make a decision and stuff like that. But we would urge that you guys, at least have a place to place us and stuff. We don't want to move the building if we don't have to, but if we have to, we understand we have to do what we have to do. It's just kind of tough that we have to uproot and do everything again. Like I said, me and my mom's been there for 30 years. We just got down to the first floor building, not even 6 months ago. So we had to change all of our bonds and stuff like that. It was costly for us. And now we got a notice that we were supposed to be maybe having to be kicked out, and we just heard about it a week ago. We have 2 months to uproot and do something different. It's kind of hard for any business person to do that. So we just want you guys to just take that in accountability. Thank you.
Marjorie Knight, or Margie? Is she no longer here? Okay, Tracy Terrell.
Hi, my name is Tracy Hallie Terrell. We've said everything. There's really not much more I can add other than that building's home. It's like being kicked out of your home after you've been there for decades raising your kids. My daughter's grown up in there. She's actually there right now running our business while I'm over here. Generations of our families have been in that building. So it hits hard. And like I said, there's nothing else I can add that hasn't already been said. But thank you for giving us the time.
Thank you to each of you for attending in your time. Any other citizens to be heard? Seeing none, any board?
Did you want to speak?
Oh,
now?
yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Sorry.
First of all, I want to apologize. I did not hear you. I wear a hearing aid, so I'm not close enough. My name is Margie Knight. I've been in your building approximately 19 years. It's very hard for the customers to shift locations as well as the people when we're moving. So I would appreciate, there's not a whole lot more we can say. They're pretty much a repeating. I would appreciate y'all's consideration to leave us sitting where we're at. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, any other citizens to be heard? Any board comments? Any new business? If not, is there a motion to recess into executive session?
I'll move we recess.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any? Okay, is there a motion to return from executive session?
I'll move we return.
Sorry, I realized you weren't there. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, action regarding item 11.
Oh, let me get back into the meeting.
So I'll make a motion to cancel the current architect contract and instruct staff to do an RFQ for the same project.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any other citizens wishing to be heard? Okay, if not, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.